2013 Toyota Camry with the little knock sound. Stay tuned, show you how we gonna fix this. What's going on, guys? So this is the tools that I'm going to be using for the job, and just to let you know, it's not a major job. It's really simple. Just takes a lot of stuff that has to come apart. So you're gonna need a ratchet, big or small. You don't need both. You're gonna need a 10 millimeter and a 12 millimeter, an extension, any much longer extension, Phillips screwdriver, and a bigger flathead screwdriver, a marker, so when you take the steering column off, you need a mark where it's going to be put in back, and a hammer just in case anything gets too rough. And this here is the major thing that solves this problem: the multi-vehicle grease. You can get this at Advanced Auto Parts or AutoZone, whichever store you're more familiar with. So now I'm technically going to be using my drill for the most part, but I'm letting you know, you guys, you do not need a drill. This is a Toyota Camry. It's not that hard. The basic stuff, screwdriver, a 12 or 10 millimeter is gonna get done. I'm just gonna use a drill to make it faster. First things first, I'm gonna go ahead and lift up on this to get it separated from here, because there is a big plastic screw that you can get with your hand. I'm going to be putting all my screws in order, just so I know how to put everything back in place. Put this back. And now I have one here and one here. A 10 millimeter bolt right here. Phillips screwdriver. If you have big jobs, line your screws up. Now we're going to be popping out this side panel here. The hood latch needs to get disconnected. In order to do that, first open it, pull this here as far back as you can, pull it to the side, bring it down. See that there? So line that out, pull it out. Just push that to the side. And now you can go ahead from the bottom, pull up, and all these clips pop out. If your Camry has floor airbags, this is the step that you need to do. So there's 4 10 millimeter bolts that need to come off. Lift up, bring it down. Now I do not disconnect this, it's no need to. All I really do is just pull it to the side. Now this cover has to come off. In order to get to the cover, first you want to do to the left, screwdriver, to the right, now put the steering wheel back completely straight. When I say completely straight, that the wheels on the car are straight. Trust me, if you don't, the steering wheel's not gonna be lying when you put all this stuff back together. Now the screws are off. Now there's two parts of this here. We want to separate the two. 1, 2. So we just go ahead and grab it, pull it down, and the bottom piece will come off after I take the keys off. And I do not suggest you guys have the key in. I just had it on because my phone is dying. And now we would need to go ahead and take out all the clamps or wiring for the steering column. I start from this side. There's little pins that you need to just push there, push in, pull out. All of them, all the clips on here are exactly like this one. The airbag is the only one that's different. For the airbag, you want to go ahead and push down on this, push down on this, and pull down. And the rest are all simple. Blue one here, some white one. And there's going to be 2 screws in order to take this whole wiring harness down. And there, another one on this side that I already took out. Take this one for the ignition, another one for the ignition, and now this here goes down. Just want to go ahead and push it to the side, out of the way. Now we're going to be taking off the first part of the steering column off. There's 2 12mm bolts, one there and one there. First I'm going to take this, push that down, so now the steering column is loose and free. And I'm going to be using a 12mm and an extension long ratchet in order to break it loose. I already broke it loose. Now I'm going to hit it with the drill. Now after taking off the 2 screws, the steering column is able to go down. And now, to be honest with you, it could be a screwdriver holding this ground wire here to the steering column. I lost the screw and I had to find a replacement screw to put it there. So I don't know if it was a 10mm or 8 or even a screwdriver, but mine right now is a screwdriver. I'm gonna take that off. Now what I'm using to get to this screw is a 90-degree angle on the drill with a regular screwdriver bit into it, which allows me to get in here like so. But now if you guys are not using a drill, I advise not using a screwdriver like this, but a stubby short screwdriver, which would come up to about here, and you'll be turning. Now this here is out, and they're going to be able to pull out the first part of the steering column. The first part of the steering column's off. Now you can go ahead and use a marker just to put a little line here, up and down line, so that you can see it's straight. Just in case. Now I'm just saying just in case, because if you went ahead and moved the steering wheel, you know where you can go ahead and it's straight. Now we have to disconnect the electronic steering motor. Pull it out of this right here. And you have two clamps that you want to go ahead and disconnect. Push up on this little clamp and pull out. Same thing with this one. Push up and pull out. Now you want to go ahead and take off this little bracket here, which is for the AC vent for your feet. Has a clamp there. You have to pull out. They have some top and bottom. So this is in there like this, and there's 3 clips, one here, one at the top, and one at the bottom. I got like the long flathead, and I pried the bottom off, and top, the side one here, it came right off. Now we can get to the 12mm bolt. So lift this up all the way and come underneath here. I'm gonna use the 12mm bolt with a extension and a long ratchet, because this here, because we're gonna go ahead and loosen this bolt to separate it. Now the reason why I'm using a long ratchet, because this thing is pretty tight, so just give you a heads up, it's gonna be tight. I'm using I already broke it loose, but I'm telling you, this is how I got at it. And I broke it loose like that. That's the bolt. After taking this bolt off, what you want to do to make it easy for yourself later, I want you to mark, see what that line is. There's a little marking right there that matches with the pink. I want you to go over that little mark with the marker so that you'll be able to see it a lot better when putting it on. So now it's a lot easier to see when putting it on. Since we took the vent out, so you have a ground wire right here, and you have the 2 bolts that hold this here up. You have one on this side, and you have one on this side. So to give you a better angle, one here, one there, and then you have that ground bolt. Take out the 10mm ground first. You can use a long extension, 10mm for that ground first. Now for that one, you can't just pull out. You have to go ahead and tilt it this way and then pull out. And then we will hit the other ones with the 12s. So like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and put the flathead right in here. Now, when it comes towards this, we can go ahead and turn this way, turn that way, whatever you want. But just do not, this here, we don't want to turn it so that the wheels on the car move. We do not want that. So you can turn it in any direction, just ensure that the wheels are not moving. Now I'm gonna hit it with the hammer. After hitting it, it came right out. So now we're gonna go ahead and take this part here. We're gonna take it to the trunk so I can give you guys a better angle when we're taking the motor off. That's just to cover the heat shield for the actual computer. So now there's 3 screws that actually mount the motor, the electric motor, to the actual steering column. One 12mm, second 12mm, and a 10mm. Take that out, it comes right. First one. Second one. Two 12mm and then a 10. Switch to my 10. Now the motor and computer comes right out. I marked it so I can know where it needs to go. Take off the motor. See, the motor has those little 4 grooves, and those 4 grooves, put this back. Those 4 grooves actually go into these slots, and what you're hearing is the actual motor tacking against here. Anytime that your car hits a bump or pressing the brakes, you're hearing the little gap. When the car was brand new, you couldn't hear it. Is because this here has some cushions, which is that green stuff, but that green stuff came out and would be in between the contact point of the actual motor and this here, so it would cushion the hit and you would never hear it. But over time, that green stuff all broke off. How I know, because when I first opened it, I took this out like several times to figure out what was the issue. But the first time I opened it up, this green stuff was everywhere. It broke off and it was like little bits and pieces. There's still some more. So there was every. So now, what I'm going to do in order to compensate the green stuff gone, I have the multi-purpose grease from Advanced Auto Parts. I'm gonna go ahead and get a gulp of that, and I'm gonna put it everywhere on the contact points. Now I just grease the hell out of it and gold it with grease. And now we're just gonna go ahead and put it back. Yeah, that feels great. It sat in there like with no problem. Now when putting it back, you just want to go ahead and line up the contact points, the open spots, directly centered straight, so that you can easily line up this the same way and put it back in. Just letting you know, if you guys want to go ahead and get some gloves instead, it'll be recommended because the grease, it stinks. And then now we'll go ahead and just put it back. Now we go ahead and put the bolts back in. Remember, the 12 millimeters are the ones that's closest to the computer, and the 10 millimeter is the one that's off by itself. Now make sure this is on before we go ahead and put this whole thing back up. Camera. You want to go ahead and get the 2 bolts in your hand. Now mount this back up. But put it up in the air. I'll put it up in the air. Put it in the holes. Hold it with one hand, screw it in with one of them, hold it with one hand, put the other one, and now you can drop it. Now it's time to go ahead and put this, connect this onto here. The easiest way I see is lifting this all the way up. And remember our marks that we had. Now we go ahead and line it up the best that we can. And put it in. So now if this doesn't go right in, the only thing I would be able to tell you what your problem is that this here needs to put the flathead in there and bang it a little bit just to separate the two, or this here needs to get turned just a smidge on one way or the other direction, because when we open this here, we moved the inner thing that turned it a little bit. Besides that, it should go not right in, but it'll be able to go in. Now remember, I did not tighten, nowhere near tighten these bolts, which gave me a lot of play and able to move it. Because I want to get this in here first, like all the way, and then get the screw in. Once I have that tightened, then I'll go ahead and tighten those two bolts. Okay, so after I was able to push this in a lot in there, I went ahead and tightened up the two bolts, and then I was able to push it all the way to the tip, and then I put the 12mm bolt back in. I tightened it up. Now remember when I told you to put the screws in order after you take them out? Now we just go ahead and put the screws back in the line order that we put it in. Now it's time to go ahead and put that ground in. AC vent went in, and then these two clamps. Remember, when we're putting the steering wheel in, make sure that line that we put on there is straight, and make sure the steering wheel is straight as well. We get the steering wheel in there. I'm gonna go ahead and take that screw and put the ground wire in there. Now if the ground wire does not fit, push the steering wheel in. Now we put the two 12mm bolts to hold the other part of the steering column. Now we put all the clamps back in. Now the two screwdriver bolts that hold the wire harness up. Now we have the two bolts that would go ahead and hold the steering column cover. But what I would do, I would put the bolts back and turn the car on. Ensure that your car is not making any noises. I still love it hearing that it doesn't make noise. And take the car in the same parking lot that you're in. Just go back and forth with the car. Ensure that the steering wheel is straight, because you don't want to put all this stuff on. You don't want to put all this stuff on and come to find out, well, what's it called? Put the bottom steering wheel cover first, and then go ahead and clap them together. And now go ahead and put the keys in the car, turn the steering wheel to the left so we can get access to those screws. Right hand first. Hit the left side, the right side, and turn the steering wheel to the right. And then we go ahead and put our airbag, if your car is equipped with the airbag. one thing I would say when putting this up, I would put this side in first. Make sure that it goes inside the actual rubber piece. And then after that, get those two latches. Those two latches you have right there. You have one up here. Then you can put the screws in. Then you go ahead and put your hood latch back together with the cord, and then put the 10mm that goes there and the screwdriver that goes there. Put the side piece there. Go ahead and put this back, and then hit that last screw. And you are done. Voila. Now you get to drive without hearing any noises at all. Like I said, it's a Toyota Camry. Toyota Camrys are great cars. Because I looked up at the parts. The parts alone were over $700 in order to do the job, because they won't just sell you that one little piece where you put the grease on. They want to sell you the whole steering column, because you know how the dealership is. But it's a Toyota Camry, man. These are really good cars. Like, spending $700 just on a part alone, and no telling how much they'll charge you to do all this here. Save yourself some money. To even do it one more time for you guys. Y'all think I'm playing? Yeah. We're good to go, man. Enjoy. I hope this helps someone out, man. Hey, go ahead, like, subscribe. I'll send you guys some more videos.